Hi, my name is Justin Jenkins, and I'm a board certified hearing instrument specialist with Mid America Hearing in Mount Vernon, Missouri. And I'd like to take a few minutes today just to talk to you about batteries for your hearing instruments and maybe give you some ideas of identifying characteristics about them and maybe make it a little bit easier for you to tell which ones you might need for your hearing instrument. So without further ado, we'll get to that, and thank you for watching. Okay, what we have here is an assortment of batteries. They're laid out in a laid out from large to small, and then there is different colors that are associated with them as well. The large battery here on the right is what we call a 675 battery, and it is typically for large behind the ear hearing instruments that need a lot of power. An identifying characteristic for the large battery, if you needed one of those for your hearing instrument, is the blue tab, and they come in packages similar to this one here, and what it is they'll have a blue tab on them. The colors are universal across all the different sizes, so even if the numbers, which this one here is a 675, and that's what we call it here at Mid-America Hearing Center. Other providers may have different numbers or different identifiers for these size of batteries, but the colors are universal. So if you have a hearing instrument and it typically needs one that has a blue tab, then you can get one with a blue tab, and it will typically fit your hearing instrument. But the ones that we have here, it's a 675 battery, and like I said, they're for high powered behind the ear hearing instruments. As you go here to the left, the next size is a size 13. It has an orange tab, okay, and the diameter of it is smaller than the 675. They're just about the same thickness. You can kind of see the thickness there. They're both relatively close to the same thickness, but the diameter the size around are considerably different. So if you tried to interchange those, they wouldn't excuse me, they wouldn't work. Where it gets a little confusing sometimes is when you go between the next two, which is a 13 and a 312. Now the 312 battery has a brown tab, okay. Its diameter, or the distance around, is the same as a 13. The difference comes in with the thickness. So the 312 battery is a much thinner battery than the 13. You can put a 312 battery in a hearing instrument that fits a 13. The problem is that the 312 would not make contact with the contacts in the hearing instrument, so it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be tall enough to set in the battery door to make contact and to make the hearing instrument function. Okay, so that's an important point that you may want to pay attention to. If you need a 312 battery, then look for the brown tab. If you need a 13 battery, the thicker battery, look for the orange tab. Right, and finally, we have a number 10 and the number 10 typically is for very small behind the ear hearing instruments or in the ear hearing instruments or in the canal hearing instruments. Something that is very small and has to have a small battery. They're small in diameter and about the same thickness as the 312, but much smaller in diameter. Okay. You can also have rechargeable batteries. Now we have rechargeable batteries here for our Rexton hearing instruments, the behind the ear hearing instruments, and at Mid-America here. And these come in size 13 or 312 sizes. And the only difference between them is they don't have a tab on these. Essentially, the main difference that you can see is with the packaging, and then in really small writing on the top of the battery, there's a "Made in Germany" printed there, and that's the easiest way to tell the difference between the rechargeable batteries and just a regular size 13 or 312 battery. So you want to make sure that you get the correct batteries in there for the purpose of what you're using. Now I have a Rexton behind the ear receiver in the canal hearing instrument, and it takes a 312 size battery. Okay, and so this battery fits in there just like this. It's a smaller battery, and it typically sets in with laid in like that. Now, the point I wanted to make with this is if I tried to put in a 13 battery like this one, I went in and I put that in. See, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It's too tall. So you want to make sure that that wouldn't fit. But if this was a hearing instrument that would fit the 13, I could put the 312 battery in there, but it wouldn't make contact because it's not thick enough. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this has helped you identify hearing instrument batteries and given you some more information about how to tell which one you need for your particular hearing instrument. If you have any questions, please call us here at Mid-America Hearing Center in Mount Vernon, Missouri. Thank you very much.